Hood Rich Radio is the voice of DJ Scream on your airways. Moran, we have a special guest in the building.
Yes.
She is a part of Rock Nation. She is doing her thing, and she came to Hood Rich Radio to rock with us. Give it up for Angelica Villa.
Yeah.
Hello.
Right here on
Thank you for
96.7
having
The
me.
Beat.
Man, very bright outfit.
I appreciate that.
Don't do no crimes in that outfit.
Thank
Jesus
you.
Christ, you'll go to jail.
So we want to
Thank
introduce you to the airwaves of Atlanta and let people just know things about you. First off, you're from the Bronx.
Yep.
Okay.
Your Timbs.
She left them in the
Listen, I
trunk.
left them in the crib.
Crazy.
Are you from the Bronx? You come to the industry by way of a legend, an OG, Fat Joe.
Yeah.
How did you hook up with Fat Joe, and how is it working with Fat Joe? Somebody like that, like a legend that and an OG that makes hits. Like
Yeah, he got a
always is a
crazy
hit
ear.
maker.
He got a crazy ear, and he guides me, and he drops some gems on me, and as I go along the way, like he's like my mentor. So the way I met him was because I started doing videos on YouTube first when I was 10 years old, but then Instagram they allowed to put videos. So at first it was only pictures. Then when the videos came out, I'm like, all right, I'm going to try to build a platform on here. So then years later, the Wild Thoughts freestyle went viral. So I did my own version. My uncle, he's my manager. He's actually right here.
Hey, shout out to your unc. Hey, unc in the building. Unc in the building.
So he was actually the one who told me, like, yo, you should, like, because I write too. He was like, yo, you should make your own version. I'm like, all right. So I did my version. I look at that video today and I still cringe, but it's all right.
Why do you cringe? Because it was rough around the edges?
It was weak.
It was weak, you
It
think?
was weak at the
But
time.
it went viral.
Exactly.
Did it go
which is a
viral for the right
blessing.
reasons? Like, were people saying...
I mean, people they messed
Right,
with it.
cool.
So a
Yeah,
lot of people
why
was
is it-
reposting because I'm my worst critic. I'm my hardest critic, and I just know what
What it could have been.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
I mean, we're not talking about Rebecca Black Friday here. I'm just saying. like,
Yo, nah. So Pretty Lou, he's one of the hottest hosts in New York City.
Shout out to
and
Pretty Lou, that's my
yeah,
dog.
Pretty Lou.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
had posted a video, and him and Joe is close. So Joe has seen it through his page, and he was like, yo, who's that girl? And at the time, Pretty Lou, he was creating his mixtape, and I was going to do the single. So he was like, yo, it's this Dominican chick. She's 20 from the Bronx, and, she's going to come up. And then Joe, he was like, all right, I got to meet her. So I was in the studio one day, and he just popped up, and he was like, yo. I was like, oh, snap. That's the OG.
Yeah,
I'm like, snap. I felt the pressure instantly.
So how did he test you in the studio? Did he make you sing a cappella immediately, or did he just listen to your music, or how did it go down?
So when he walked in, he told me to play 3 songs for him.
Okay.
And as I was playing, the first thing that he said was, you can never make a first impression twice. So I was already, I already felt the pressure. I was wondering, if is he gonna like it? So I played the 3 songs, and then he told me to pause the last one. He was like, all right, sing a cappella. I sang the Beyoncé song. I think it was 1+1.
Okay.
And then, his wife was there. He told me that when they left, she was like, yo, you gotta sign that girl. And then from there, months later, 3 months later, that's when I actually got signed.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I
That's
appreciate
dope
that.
story.
Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am.
So how did you evolve? You say you're from the Bronx.
Yeah.
I actually used to live in the Bronx long ago.
Hey.
I'm going to assume, I don't want to make assumptions, but I'm going to assume that you're probably from the hood.
Nah.
You're not from the hood.
Well, I live around the hood.
Live around the hood.
So it's like,
You were exposed to
I can't-
hood things.
right.
Okay.
That's probably why I got that, I don't know, the little diddy bop.
Okay. Got you.
She from the J-Lo side of the Bronx.
I live in Castle Hill. How you knew that?
I just guessed.
No.
Nah, sincerely,
Yeah, that's that
And-
telepathy.
Yeah, and also, there is a real deep lineage of Latinas and Latinos in the Bronx.
Yeah.
So that's just the only reason. But there's also a deep lineage with Latinos in hip hop. So do you feel pressure? You got to live up to a certain standard? Because, y'all got Big Pun, Fat Joe, J-Lo did her
Especially just
thing.
Bronx, right? J-Lo.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't feel pressure. I feel pressure because of how highly Joe speaks of me, and so he speaks. He goes hard. He's my biggest cheerleader, but it's also a motivation. And I don't feel like it's pressure, coming from the Bronx, because I just feel like you just got to be yourself. You
There
know,
you go. Okay.
Everybody got their own sauce, so it's just
Okay.
be you.
Very well put. What's probably the biggest challenge that you've had so far as an artist?
Well, when I was first coming into the industry, because I'm still growing, but now that my first single is out, More in the Morning, I feel like before that, it was hard for people to take me seriously as an artist, and oh, she's Latina, she's from the Bronx, so it was kind of hard. But I feel like, for example, like Cardi B, I feel like she paved the way for like Latinas or like people coming from the Bronx and just women in general, like coming into the market and stuff like that. So I feel like it's a good thing.
Okay.
Why didn't they take you serious though? Because if you got the talent, could it be because of your looks? Like maybe people were trying to talk to you and not take you like for real as an artist.
Right. It's like that, and I feel like for I don't even want to say like a pretty girl, because I'm not trying to be like, oh, I think I'm pretty. I'm not like that.
So you ugly.
I just, I'm just me. I'm just me.
All
but
right.
I feel like that plays a part in like people just saying like, oh, shit, that's just a pretty girl.
Like you want to be taken serious.
Passion.
Yeah, you want to be taken serious. Like you're talented. Being pretty is just a bonus. Right?
Nah, I mean, not a bonus. I mean, I'm just me. I'm just me. I don't want to say I'm pretty. I don't want to say that.
I'm just Jenny from the block. Like, she just wants to be herself.
Right.
And I get it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I can't really explain it, but I get it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right, cool.
So outside of music, let us a little more into your world. Like, what do you do? Like, do you play video games? Do you cook? Do you like cars? Do you shop?
I'm telling y'all, I'm the biggest workaholic. Like, I'm so serious when it comes to this. So it's like
all music.
All music.
But before it was music.
Before it was music, it was still music.
Okay, fair enough.
And if I had like free time open, actually, matter of fact, let's put it like this: at like when I was trying to make the career work, I was still like grinding hard in the studio, but I also had like a 9 to 5. I was working at American Eagle, so that was kind of like, I guess, like what I would do in my free time. But I was always like so motivated to just be in the studio and just keep learning.
So for the youngsters out there on the come up, let's be clear: Angelica Villa
worked at American Eagle.
You got on the train.
Yeah.
Went to American Eagle.
Yeah.
Sold clothes, grinded it out.
Folding them. And even at times, because, like, again, I started, like, doing videos at 10. So, and my uncle, he's one of the biggest promoters in New York City. So, like, he's the reason why I met a whole bunch of DJs, Funk Flex, and all them, like, the big people in, like, Hot 97 and Power 105.1 in New York City. So, like, a lot of people, I guess they were seeing that. And so, like, I don't even know. It's just, it was a process. It was a process. Yeah. Right. It was a process. And I don't know. It's like they would just stop and ask for pictures. They'd be like, oh, and I could even do it because my manager at the time, he was like, I even asked him, I'm like, there's a person outside waiting. I know I'm working right now, but they want a picture. and it was kind of hard to balance it out because it's like, for me, the career comes first. Yeah. But for him, it's like, that's just, she's just job. Right. Like,
so when did you quit?
Oh, I quit because, you said when?
Yeah, when and why?
I quit because, well, I don't know how long ago that was. I was like 17. But I quit because my mom, she wanted me to focus on my music.
Okay.
And she also wanted me to go to college.
Okay.
Because I was so invested in like the music that I felt like, I couldn't do both. But I left the job and then I went to BMCC.
BMCC.
I assume that's a community college.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's in the city.
Okay.
I went there and it was not good. It was not good.
You weren't happy?
I was so unhappy. It got to the point where I was outside the oh man, why am I getting emotional?
Because you should. You should.
Nah.
Yeah, you should. Hey, nah, we with it. Nah, talk. Yeah, Anissa, yes. Anissa got some tissue. Anissa got you.
This is motivating
yes,
people.
if you need
a lot of people, the picture we try to paint on Hood Rich Radio is a lot of people think that artists wake up into stardom and they become.
It's hard.
But it's like levels. It's like you have to go from.
I'm depressed. Yes. Nah. But this is good.
You have to get from the level of supporting yourself, paying your bills, being an adult, to getting a shot.
Yeah.
And now you have a shot, and you still have more hard work to do.
Right.
Like,
and I still got a lot of learning to do.
You want a plaque,
and everything was earned. You know what I'm saying? You didn't just
He didn't troll on social media.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But it got to a point where like I didn't even want to go inside. Like the class, like I was so unhappy. I couldn't even listen to a lecture for like at least 2 hours. Like and the lectures were like 4 hour classes. I'm like, yo, I could stay in the studio literally. Because when I first got signed with Fat Joe, the first trip that I took was Miami, and I was in Cool and Dre's studio for like 2.5, 3 months. I was in that studio nonstop every single day. Did not want to leave. If I passed out in the studio, I wake up like, okay, what we working on now?
Was your mom disappointed when you left
Nah.
college? Okay.
The only thing she was disappointed in was because I was like so into the work that I didn't eat. And so she would like force me to eat, like, oh, you gotta do this, you gotta do that. I'm like, oh my gosh, leave me alone.
Nah, Dominican moms are like that. Like, I'm not Dominican or nothing, but I used to work with one and she used to like bring me food. Never asked for it.
What was he, ex-girlfriend?
No, she was like older.
Mama?
Nah, we worked together. This was back when I worked there. And she used to like bring me like chicken and rice.
Nah, she had a crush on you.
Nah, I hope not. Well, I never asked for it. I'm just saying, like,
women don't just do things for. I mean, maybe, but she had a crush on you.
Women don't just do things.
She cooking for you, bringing you food.
She was older than me, like older.
Oh nah,
like,
she had a crush on you.
She was older.
Cougars get busy.
Hey, no.
You ain't seen how Stella got.
I was trying to uplift the Dominican community to let everybody know that they get down. They look out for each other.
She said a Dominican ain't just doing it.
Well, she would know because she actually is Dominican.
Now he tried to twist my words up.
No,
I said women.
A woman. Sorry.
He said a Dominican. I mean, it's true. A girl, she ain't gonna just, let me cook for him. Let me make him some food.
Yeah, bringing food and cooking.
She trying to make you happy.
Nice. She was
one that never cooked for you.
Clearly it worked because he talking about
they never cooked for me, but they bought me food. We was working though. We was working though. Oh, yes, yeah.
She bad. But that's different though.
Both of y'all.
So let me ask you a question. To speak back on this, there are a lot of stars shining from the Bronx. What do you think it is that makes the Bronx such a special place? Like Brooklyn is special. Every place has their own special twist to it. Atlanta's special too, but what makes the Bronx special? Other than the ices and the pizza.
It's the birthplace of hip hop.
It is the birthplace.
Isn't that where the first rap disc came from?
Yeah.
Karis Wayne? South Bronx. I just know.
Not the first rap.
Nah,
but the one that went like.
The first big, war. I guess hip hop war was Queens and the Bronx.
I mean, it's the birthplace of hip hop, and then also a lot of artists came from there, like Big Pun, J-Lo.
Well, what do you think it is culturally? Like, I actually stayed on Fordham Road before, so yeah, exactly. So I know that the reason I even the reason I even exist, like we moved from Atlanta to Fordham Road is culture shock. But the reason I even started doing music was because I'm like, yo, people are spinning on their head in the middle of the day. What is going on here? Like all this graffiti, all this culture. I was like, I have to be a part of this. So that inspired me to come back down here and do, what I do the way that I do it. So I'm saying, like, what to you culturally happens in the Bronx to make it such a place where you want to go create or sing or rap or just make that amazing music?
I guess
the men say it's the women. I'm gonna just let you know. We've interviewed men from the Bronx, and they say the women. Yes, they say there's no woman like a Bronx woman. That's what a man from the Bronx would say.
Y'all good and crazy.
What?
Yes.
I mean,
when it's good, it's good. When it's bad, it's cuts.
I guess literally. You could say the city. Like, that's the most popular thing about New York, downtown. Okay. It's like, and all the studios, the lit studios is over there. So it's like, I feel like it's a myth where they say, like, if you can make it in New York, you can make it anywhere. Because I feel like there's other people that came out of, like, other places and they made it. So I feel like it's not only New York, but I don't know. I guess it's because of that myth as well.
New York is tough. As a person who's been on very many tours, you dread the New York date.
I feel like that's very true.
If we make it out of New York without getting booed, we're popping. Like I remember being with D4L and Laffy Taffy, and we killing it night after night. Then we driving past Jersey like, man, we don't have to do this. They talking crazy.
It could be because of that. Like New York, I feel like they got a tough crowd.
But
everybody's standing like that. Everybody think they celebrities.
But New Yorkers like to party, so they actually, as crazy as it was, they embraced the Laffy Taffies, the D4L, the Soulja Boys. Like New Yorkers, at the time at least, party like no other.
That's true.
I feel like, just my opinion.
I mean, I'm still a baby, so I can't like I did my research, but I mean, I didn't live in that real time.
No doubt.
So I'm still a baby.
No doubt.
I'm still learning.
No doubt. So let's talk about this single, More in the Morning.
Yes.
Okay, talk to us about the creation of it, what it means, and the whole everything.
Well, I think everybody knows what it means because it's a pretty freaky song.
Right.
Wow.
But when actually in that first trip to Miami, that I recorded that song, and it was a guy named Govelius. He had played it, and it was like incomplete. So when I cut it, we rewrote the first verse because there was already a verse on there. We rewrote the first verse. And then I was doing the second verse because I believe it was an open verse. So Joe, he was like, yo, one, you should do that on the telephone. She heard my voice telling me to pick her up in my rose. But I was like, hey, okay. And that's from that Bonnie and Shine.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, he gave me the first 4 bars and I finished off the last 4.
So you got the Fat Joe blessing of this is a hit. Because you know that means a lot. Because like I said, Fat Joe makes hit. We tried to trace the history of Fat Joe and his hits and lost track.
Yeah, that's a legend.
You know what I'm saying?
Man, what's love? Ooh, Flo Joe.
Who's your biggest inspiration to come? Like, who's somebody who's inspired you that's not from New York?
Beyonce,
of course.
Beyonce.
Like, she's the one for you?
The one. Riri, she got some. Oh yes.
You met her?
Was you at the Rock Nation brunch?
Yep.
Oh wow.
Was you one of the girls that was dancing?
No.
Oh. Nah, because like there was a video of the girls that was dancing and people got mad at them for having fun.
No, I think that was the other girls.
Sarati.
No, it was like it was
Sarati.
several
That's what it
girls.
was?
That's Sarati. I met them too. They're really dope.
Really?
Yeah.
So you met Hov?
Hov?
Yeah.
Yeah. But that was not the first time I met him. I met him at it was actually like a celebration for me. Like not a celebration. They threw like a huge, they got everybody from Rock Nation entitled together. And they surprised me like as an introduction to Rock Nation. Because a couple months later after being signed with Joe, he partnered up with Rock Nation. And so I'm also a Rock Nation artist as well. And then with the More in the Morning, then I got partnered up again with from Rock Nation with Republic. So I'm signed to all 3.
Okay.
But yeah, I met Hov in that meeting. He had stopped by, and I was like, "Oh snap! Nice to meet you."
How was it meeting? I mean, they're regular people.
Yeah.
But how is that? I know your heart's beating a little faster.
I think about it as they're regular people.
For sure.
Like I think that's what really keeps me grounded. But then afterwards, I'm like, "Oh snap!" But with Beyonce, I can say that I was a little starstruck because I love her and I've been watching her since I was young. So. Like, I know how to hold it down. Like, I know how to keep it cool, calm, professional, conservative. But with Beyonce, it was like the words wasn't really hitting right. Because I'm like, she was like, nice to meet you. Mind you, it's loud. So thank God I don't think she heard me. But she was like, nice to meet you. You're so beautiful. You're so beautiful. I'm like, thank you. So mind you, it's Beyonce telling me that I'm beautiful. So I'm like,
right.
Girl, so you find it? Nah.
So I'm trying to tell her, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I love your music. It's a pleasure to meet you. I didn't even know what I said. I was just like, thank you. It's a pleasure. I mean, I said, thank you. You're a pleasure. You're such a pleasure.
You're
what
a pleasure.
Does that mean? You're such a, I mean, I guess it's good, but I don't want her thinking that, I'm doing nasty stuff. You're such a pleasure.
Nah, it ain't
What
that
you
deep.
talking about?
I said she was cool. She was cool. Yeah, you probably overthinking.
I'm not overthinking because I could be wrong, but she looked a little confused. Like, you're such a pleasure. It's like,
I think Beyonce been confused
you.
a lot lately, especially with the Amari Hardwick mess last week. I think she's just confused.
Yeah,
But you have to
I
understand
love her.
she's Beyonce, and it's kind of hard to meet Beyonce and not lose a little of your cool.
Nah, but I kept it together. I kept it together.
That's
You
what's
ain't
most
see it in my face,
Yeah.
You just it seemed like I effed up my words a little.
Right. Listen, we appreciate you coming to Hood Rich Radio. We're definitely going to try to bring you back for DMs Exposed. But
Absolutely.
I
Give
definitely wanna
everybody your
come back.
Instagram and introduce your new single right here on 96.7.
It's your girl Angelica Villa. You can find me on everywhere at Angelica Villa, ANGELICAVILA, and this is my new single, More in the Morning on 96.7 The Beat. Let's get it.
There it is. It's Hood Rich Radio. Turn us up. Let's go.
Hey.